You got Petty John sitting in the chair. Gotta put your glasses on.
Oh, hold on.
Alright, welcome back to another LS Nice video. We just got our Hartz Turbo in. It's a little bit smaller than expected, if you guys want to check it out. Size can be deceiving. Alright, that's it.
Alright guys, we want to talk to you a little bit about turbos here. This is the giveaway turbo. It is a nice unit, T6. You guys have I've seen many of these turbos before. We run a turbo just like this, S400 chassis.
This,
right?
Yes.
S400 chassis. 80. They make these in what? 80 millimeter to 88 millimeter. Sometimes
yeah,
91,
92 bigger. Yep.
And this is kind of like the workhorse turbo. I've run this on literally this platform of turbo on the Boosted Rooster, Brown Sugar. We're gonna run it on the S10 50 chance. Run it on the Ranger. I mean, it's just a solid, well-performing turbo. Kind of large. If you talk to any four-cylinder guy, they're gonna say, "God dang, that's a massive turbo." Most people, when they see it out at Cars and Coffee or at a car show, they're gonna be like, "It's a pretty healthy-sized turbo."
Yeah.
And it is. I mean,
it's a big turbo. I mean, that thing will support, well over 1,000 horsepower. So, I mean, it's a big turbo. I mean, it's plenty big enough to run in a single configuration on a V8. Some of the smaller displacement guys, like 2J guys, they run an S400 chassis, and it's a lot of turbo for them. It takes a long time to spool. So, it's not a small turbo by any means. Here, looks like small turbo.
Now, for God, this thing is kind of heavy though. For representation purposes, I mean, you hang this thing up front. God, you guys watch me struggle hold this? It probably looks small in that sense. Yeah. Big motor, small turbo. So we'll compare it here to our Hartz Turbo. You guys have heard us talk about this quite a bit. And look at that for size comparison.
It's a big difference.
It's not even. It's not even.
Turbine.
It's a number so large most people can't fathom it, can't comprehend it.
It's a number we're not familiar with. Anybody, anywhere. It's just a very unique number because there's nothing like it. And there really isn't anything to compare it with.
It is massive.
We're nice.
You want to compare exhaust wheels?
Yep.
All right. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is insane.
That's a big wheel.
That is a big wheel. So this is what you're looking at, the difference between being able to support 1,000 horsepower and being able to support 4,000 horsepower is the difference. That is an absolute unit. Also, You'll notice, just like right off the bat, exhaust size, the diameter of the exhaust is way larger than this.
And that's a big downpipe. I mean, that's like a 4 3/8 downpipe.
Yeah, it's respectable. I mean, you'll go from this to a 5-inch, and it's not that big of a change.
Yeah.
And this is 7?
Yeah, 7.5, I think.
7-inch. 7-inch exhaust. If you turn it sideways here, you got the cartridge. Pretty tiny here. It's actually pretty compact. Some, like the large frame stuff, they kind of get spaced out. That's pretty good. A cast billet. That right there is...
Billet.
Yeah, that's some badass stuff. All right, Matt, talk about the turbo.
Typically, a lot of people want to run a twin setup, and twin setup does great. It'll make more power than a single configuration, but we get a pretty hefty weight break if we want to run Pro 275 running a single configuration. I think we got to be 2450 with a single configuration. So we get a big weight break, and we're not going to be trying to competitively race this in Pro 275. We'll go to some races, if we're in, the middle of the pack, that's fine, because, some of those guys, they're just...
It's RVW budget on a 275.
Yeah, and we're not trying to go out there and, those guys are bringing backup motors and they're burning their stuff down all the time. We don't want to do that. We just want to go out and have fun. But what we really want to do this for is the 28 shootouts, the no time stuff. That's where we're going to really hammer this thing out at, and this thing will make plenty enough power to handle anything in a 28 shootout.
Some of the 28 stuff says single turbo only.
Yeah,
so, right.
So,
a big deal breaker. That's why we really don't have a lot of twin turbo cars. And I think you can do just as much, if not more, with any of the small block stuff on a single turbo opposed to twins. Now, when you get into stuff like this, like Matt was saying, you can make some more horsepower. You run twin.
You want to make 5,000?
Twin 94s, twin 102s, or twin 98s.
Yep.
That's a lot of turbo. But this thing right here is...
I think it'd be a little bit easier to power manage. This thing should come on like a light switch with that motor. I think that motor is around 570 cubic inches. So Definitely got enough cubic inches to spool this thing. This thing's already outfitted with a turbo shaft speed. Slick Race, we're gonna have all the bells and whistles on data. It's gonna be like spaceship. You know, we're gonna
call you Richard. What's his name? Richard
Branson.
Richard Branson. Matt Branson is gonna be over here tuning. He's gonna be like floating around, and he's like, "If you have a dream,
Generation of dreamers, if we can do this, just imagine what you can do."
A couple billionaires in a space race. So yeah, this is gonna be a pretty cool deal. And we got the turbo flange. You guys saw that before. So drew this up.
Matt drew that up.
Yeah, drew this up in Fusion. I had just a small sketch that they gave me for the turbo dimension, so I was like, I hope it's right. So we had it cut. We test fitted. Everything's good. It bolts up. It's gonna.
This thing's a tank. It really is a tank.
It's about 85 pounds, so it's lighter than a pair of twins. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons why we did this. Also, packaging. You know, we can do the center turbo out the middle. There's one less turbo to fail. You know, there's a lot of things that kind of you get that twin versus single.
I like the single turbo.
Yeah, I think the single turbo is good. So we're gonna do this. I want to build a mount for the turbo drain to mount this turbo, kind of like the Maven mount. I don't think the large frame.
I don't think Maven makes a mount for something this size.
No, I don't believe so. But yep. So our exhaust housing, our merge flange fits right on there,
which is gonna look absolutely sweet. So here, let's twist this turbo around.
Yeah, spin it around.
So let's, for instance, the hot side will be probably clocked at this orientation where the flange will be coming up. And then look at how this flange that Matt designed just works absolutely awesome. As you have, you know, one side coming in here and the other side. I mean, it's just, it's pretty
maybe
sweet.
do like a 90, roll it back like this, so you come out like that, and then this one's coming in like that. So a little bit better. The Hartz one, it comes out this way and coming back over, and it was also 4-inch. And you know, you got a 3.5-inch rectangle T7 flange. So doing dual 4-inch, I mean, the volume that a 4-inch piece of tubing can move is far more than this 3.5-inch rectangle. So this is going to be your bottleneck. So really, the only thing, by going to a 4-inch, you're just losing exhaust velocity. So I think the 3.5-inch is really going to help us out. And our headers are currently a 3.5-inch outlet on the V-band.
So we literally go from 3.5-inch to 4-inch, and then cram the 4-inch into.
Into the rectangle, and then also packaging. You know, the packaging wise, it'd be a lot easier to package a 3.5-inch.
It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you start, I mean,
you get the downpipe in
there.
there.
Get a good look at this now, because you're going to have 2 3.5-inch pipes, and then 2 5-inch pipes, and then a 5-inch charge pipe.
Yep.
So it's literally going to be stuffed full.
Yeah, there's going to be all kinds of stuff in there. But yeah, we're going to have turbo shaft speed, which we'll talk about that when we start wiring it. The turbo shaft speed is definitely beneficial because you can see on your compressor map, you know, you can start to realize when you're running out of turbo. You know, sometimes you want to target a certain shaft speed, and because you can run the turbo too hard, you know, just because it's making more boost doesn't really necessarily mean it's making more power. So it's just you can never have too much data.
Back pressure.
We're gonna have back pressure on.
Are you gonna talk about how they can run target boost in Holley opposed to dome pressure?
Yep. So there's a couple tables that you can build in the advanced tables if you have an exhaust back pressure sensor, because you'll notice like your dome pressure, as it increases, you know, you might go 1 to 1, so you add 5 pounds of dome, you get 5 pounds of boost, and then the farther you go, you'll get to where you add like 20 pounds of dome pressure, but you only get 1 or 2 pounds of boost. So once you kind of plot that out and you get a good idea of how much dome pressure it takes to your target boost, then you can change your strategy over into where it's a target dome pressure to target boost. That way, if you're going down the track and you have a charge pipe starts leaking or a blow-off valve's leaking, if any of those things happen, you're going to be at target dome. So that thing says, hey, you want 30 pounds of dome, that's what you get. Well, you might only have 5 pounds of boost. So the other way, if something happens or elevation changes, air density changes.
That's the biggest thing is that we've seen is like, you know, you're racing in Virginia one day and then you're racing in Florida, and the same tune-up has a 5-pound boost difference, which is horsepower.
Yeah, the DA. You know, if you're over there in the grains of water in Virginia, you know, when we raced the 484 shootout, they were like 20 grains of water. That's some really killer air, and if you're down there and then you go to Florida, if you're running 30 pounds up there, then you can run way more than 30 pounds in Florida, where the grains of water are 100, humidity's way high, your density altitude's way higher. So by doing that, you can really just target what you want. So if it takes 50 pounds of dome or 60 pounds of dome or 30, you always be there. So you know, like, hey, I want to run 30 pounds of boost. You plug 30 in the number, and that's what you get. So we'll go over that a little bit on how to set those up. You can do it without a back pressure sensor. To me, it's a little bit more efficient, to where the thing's not having to really hunt around on what dome pressure you're just trying to find to get to that target boost. But you can try it yourself. I think you'll like it. It's a little bit easier, especially if you want to go to something like you don't know how much dome. Like if you've always been running 20 and you want to run 30, you don't know how much dome pressure it's going to take to get there. So this way, you just plug in 30, you get 30. So yeah, we got this. The outlet here is designed. It's got like a O-ring receiver groove and a pipe, and it slides in there, and then it's got these two things that clamp on there. We're gonna probably cut this down, and I have a...
Now listen, guys, Matt's been talking about this thing, which I hid so we can't find it for this video clip. He's been talking about this thing for God knows how long, and every time I order something, he's like, you need to get this. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm a creature of habit. Let me stick to what I know. And he's just been like shoving it in my face, like, you need to try this thing, it's the best. And you've run it on your stuff.
Yeah, no, it's great. They make it...
and I will say, it is very nice, and
so you got like
I highly recommend it.
The Vangeon clamp, some of the other clamp, like Wiggin style clamps. These this is made by Linder Power Systems. And
all right, so first off, it looks like, let me see this, looks like a Vangeon's clamp or a Wiggins clamp. And if you guys have that, you know it comes in 4 pieces. You got the front, the back, you got the middle piece that seals it, and then you got the clamp, or the clamshell, or however you want to call it. And everyone knows they suck to go on, because you got 2 O-rings on your inner and outer piece, and then you have to like perfectly align that center piece that seals it, and then once that's aligned, you have to cram the clamshell over it. So that, just so you guys understand how that works, this is replacing that.
Yeah, it's much better. It's all machined aluminum. So when it's mounted on the car, you push it in like this, and as you do that, it unlocks it. And then you just keep twisting, and it comes apart. So this is a tapered ramp here. So this will be on the turbo. You have your charge pipe in here. You just take this, spin it around, and then after it does, you turn it around.
It's pretty tough because we don't have an actual pipe to put
it locks in. It's got little tabs that lock it in, and then it's good. This does offer a little bit of misalignment, not quite as much misalignment as Vangeon clamp or like the Race Parts Solutions clamp, but when you're at the track, you know, those things, the piece that goes over the O-rings, you'll know if you ever done them, like it wants to go over one side or the other. It's so hard to keep it balanced, and you know, you can fight those things sometimes for a long time. Or when you're welding it, if the thing gets distorted at all, they can be, oh, it's just a pain. So these are a lot nicer. You just get it halfway close, and the thing, once it gets in those ramps, you can just grab this and really crank on it. It'll pull it, suck it in right there. So LPS, Linder Power Systems,
what's it called?
It's the Alpha Lock clamp. They make it in like 2.5, 3 inch, 3.5, 4 inch. They don't make it larger. This is a 4-inch outlet, so what we're going to be doing is welding this to here, and then going from a 4 to 5, because we have
our throttle body.
Yeah, this is the this intake has a monoblade, and this is from Visner. So the monoblade from Visner, and then they sell this, it's a whole billet adapter here, bolts on, goes to a 5-inch V-band. So we'll have this here, 5-inch all the way down to the clamp, have a 5 to 4 reducer on there.
Pretty short charge pipe. It's going to be short. Everything's going to be very compact.
Well, you got to think, this looks like a short area right here, but if we were to mount the turbo to where the outlet of it was near the front, the turbo is going to be like out here, because the Christmas tree mount right here is actually, it's not very much farther behind the wheel arch over here. Yeah, so that Christmas tree mount's right here. So the front of the frame is right here. So we got all this room, you know, that's another probably 20 inches in front of that. So, you know, the front of the turbo being out right here, that's going to give us a lot more room. I don't know if we want to put it that far forward because
we don't know what that's going to do with weight.
Weight distribution. I mean, that's pretty heavy turbos, 80 pounds up there. But you also think if you got two 288s, that's going to be about 49 pounds. 50 something pounds a piece. So it's 100 pounds. They'd probably be hanging. I think he had them about right here in this area. So we'll just have to kind of see around, maybe get it on the scales, move it around a little bit.
I wonder how much like moving that like 2 or 3 inches does to your percentages, or like where some people are like, hey, like my car just won't go down track. Well, maybe if you move your turbo back, does it? Who knows? I don't. It's kind of like uncharted territories.
For me, I haven't done enough testing to know. Like, hey, some people are like, hey, you put 5 pounds on the car and it makes a big difference. Some, I put 20 pounds on it and can't see a difference. I think a lot has to do with how much the car weighs. If you have I think your weight bias needs to be totally different depending on your car weight. Because if you have a 3,000 pound car with 56 on the nose, that's going to be a lot different than a 2,000 pound car with 56 on the nose. So like MK Ultra, it's a very light car. It's about 58% on the nose, but it works good. But if it was a 3,000 pound car, that'd probably be too much on the nose. So there's a lot of variables that go in there. But I think we're just going to get it in there wherever it fits good. Get it to where the exhaust. We don't have any like really big space constraints where we're like, man, this is just going to be impossible.
Yeah. Here's the exhaust also. So we got it right there from Steven at Rock Solid Motorsports.
Yeah, he did this. I think it's probably the first one he did for this. The Harsh Turbo. Race Part Solutions had the flange. Sent it to him. Welded it up. Did an awesome job. I've made these before, and if anybody else has made them, that this is a pain in the ass. Steven's got it down to where he can knock these things out. He did this thing like the same day, and
he's done them for the Black Sheep, for the Colorado, for this. Like
the MK Ultra. I mean, he just knocks it out. They're perfect. And how much they cost. I've done them before, and I've actually messed up some bends. So you mess up 1 or 2 bends, and then you could have just paid him to do it, and you just bolted it right on.
Steven at Rock Solid Motorsports, check him out. Check out their YouTube channel also. So we have to get the clamp to get it on there just to make sure everything's perfect. But that's what you're going to be looking like exhaust-wise.
Yep, dual 5-inch.
Which it's a unit.
When you say like, hey, we're going to go from 4-inch to 5-inch, that doesn't sound like a big deal. But you guys saw the other video, like the 4-inch merge to that's a huge difference.
I mean, look at that. That car right there.
Yeah, I mean,
that is a huge change. So I guess now we're about to get everything ordered up from Stainless Bros. They're working with us. We're going to get all the materials for the hot side. They make absolutely beautiful materials. Matt got all their stuff for MK Ultra. Knocked it out.
Welded perfect. I mean, it's
super easy to deal with too.
Ship it out the same day. They have tight radius bends, loose radius bends, which would be 1D and 1.5D. It's all polished inside and out. It's like 065. Very, very high quality stuff. So you guys will see that. If you're doing your hot side system, it's a lot better than just using just a bend from, if you get from Summit or something. I'm not saying the bends are bad, but if you're trying to really go to the next level stuff, this is really good. And they also offer 321. They have 304 and 321. We've been kind of tossing up the idea of going with 321 on this. There's a little bit of a supply chain issue with the 321 on some of the bends we need, so we might be doing 304. 304 is not bad. 321 is the best, but it's probably going to be 304. We're going to do a double slip joint in this. So we're not going to have any issues on the hot side. It'll expand and contract. Getting it back on and off will be easy. We're going to do, like I said, the turbo mount. We're going to figure out, probably come off of here, just build like a bar that comes out like that, set the turbo on there, maybe come off, give it some bracing, because it's pretty heavy turbo. You don't want it up here, bouncing and beating around.
Especially when we drag the bumper to come down. We want it to come, be rigid.
Yeah. So we got that. Figure out we're going to do our scavenge pump. It'll be pretty low. I've been working with J.R. Parker from Parker Speed, and I have some ideas for a new turbo drain style, and I think this turbo might be the perfect candidate for the first test one. So I sent him some fusion files over. He's going to look them over and doing some cutting. Do you have that stuff that he sent?
Yeah, for 50 chains.
Yeah, did you go over it?
I don't know if I talked about it yet in a video, but we're about to, once we get the motor and the turbo and everything, we're going to go over a whole...
Yeah.
He sent us an awesome flange for that, just a little sneak peek for you guys. So we're going to be running the Parker Speed T6 dual 2.5-inch turbo merge, essentially, for a T6. So, yeah, big shout out to him. So Matt's been working with him. And yeah.
We like working with everybody. I mean, you know, anybody that's got a good quality product, always want to try to.
We just want to go fast and be reliable, and that requires having good parts. So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it makes it easy. The merge, I mean, any guys out there that do the merge, just if you're building a turbo system and just the first one, just buy it. It'll save you time. It'll look so much better. Don't try to do it yourself. Like I said, you get into where you mess up a couple bends trying to cut them and merge them, and then you could just bought a billet merge. So,
yeah. Well,
Slick Rick is going to be.
So right now we're working on the Black Sheep, doing some wiring stuff with that, getting the Bad Apple all tidied up, and then Slick Rick is on the way next. So I hope you guys are excited. This thing's going to be an absolutely awesome build. We got a bunch of sweet parts to showcase, and then hopefully we're going to go really fast after that. So
yeah, anybody's been asking about Slick Rick, we've really literally just been waiting on the turbo, because there's so much that goes into this that revolves around the turbo. Like you can't really wire it because you can't place the sensors where you need to be. You can't do any of the hot side stuff. So I think Slick Rick's definitely going to be coming in. How long do you think?
Well, I'd like to take it to FL2K, so October.
Yep. FL2K.
So be tested.
Tested, ready to go, no issues. Like we put it in the trailer, unload it, and then
we'll probably take multiple cars down there to FL2K. So if you guys aren't aware, October, I think it's like 9th, 10th, 11th, or 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, or I don't know. I'll put a link down there. Check it out. You guys definitely need to be down at FL2K because the no time class is absolutely badass. So
yeah, they got a lot of other classes too. If you're not in.
Oh yeah, they got stick shift racing. They got roll racing. They got
GTR class.
GTR class. They got like a badass street racer class where guys are going like low sevens in the quarter mile and driving them around. Like they got some badass stuff. So that I'd say would be a goal. If we have to get a 5-car hauler to take all the cars down there, we will. We're just going to be knocking them out. That's it. So, yeah, I think. Also, look at how great the motor looks set in there. With Matt did the motor plate setup, and then we got a new firewall and everything all painted over at Bissett Performance. So, big shout out to Matt and Junior Bissett over at Bissett Performance. He currently has the Colorado. Did a great job on the firewall. So super pleased with that. And yeah, so the build's coming along great. I know we were kind of waiting on the turbo, but now is really time where we really got
all the wiring stuff, so we're gonna.
We almost have everything we need.
Yeah, I mean we got
a couple of odds and end things, and I'd say we're good to go.
Switch over the rear shocks, some QA1 mod shocks.
Yep, mod shocks in the rear, of course. QA1 to the front. All right, well that's gonna wrap today's video. It's hot as hell. We have to go work on some more stuff. It's Friday. Oh, by the way, turbo giveaway stuff. I know everyone's asking what's going on with the turbo giveaway. When we're filming this, it's Friday. Should have everything back Monday or Tuesday, the results, and then we'll announce the winner. So you guys probably won't see who the turbo winner is till the end of next week, but be on the lookout for who the winner is. We got to get a thumbnail now. So are you going to pick that one up and hold it?
I can try. I'm going to be struggling.
Here, I'll get this one, and you get that. I'll hold this.
Let me get this one.
I'll hold this.
He grabs a little one.
All right, you guys are watching. This is YouTube behind the scenes.
All right, you lift in a jerking, twisting motion with your back, correct?
Yes. So I'm gonna hold this for the thumbnail, and you gotta stand on the other side. God, that just looks heavy. You're literally turning red in the thumbnail. All right, just for size comparison, that's the difference. This is you, and that's me, who she's telling you not to worry about.
He get the buy this round. John Doc got the buy this round. The Black Sheep on the property. He got the buy for the next round. 15